I'm Lindsey Swidorski, and I own TJ's Pub and the Ramsdell Inn.
I appreciate you coming and doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for doing it.
You're welcome. Well, I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we talk a lot. I talk a lot to everybody, but we never really kind of dial down. And,
Yeah.
you know, we put stuff on social media. I mean, obviously, I do quite a bit.
Yep.
And I get my fair share of feedback, whether I want it or not.
Yep.
You know, but I think my curiosity starts back 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I want to begin this, because for me, 2 years ago, you know, it was scary in the front end because I didn't know what we had to do.
Yeah.
But then it turned out that a liquor store is essential,
Yep.
which was
Of course.
interesting.
Yep.
But I didn't have to put the brakes on really anything. I mean,
Yeah.
for a couple of days, we closed. I sent staff home. I worked for a month by myself, but I was open.
Yep.
And I didn't necessarily have to change a whole lot, other than, you know, I had to, like everybody else, we were watching everything constantly.
Yep.
You know, we were, you know, the introduction of masks. Do we wear them? Do we not wear them? How does it progress from here? But aside from that, you know, I got to stay open, and I got to play the game and continue to make income.
Yeah.
Where a vast majority of business owners throughout the country didn't, yourself included.
Yeah.
You know, owning the inn and the bar, restaurant. So if you can, just take everybody back to 2 years ago when people started getting sick. We started hearing things like COVID-19, and then all of a sudden the mandates started coming out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there was a lot of unknown, a lot of tension. You know, my first concern was the staff. You know, watching the news, the surrounding states had been shut down, and it seemed like our governor was kind of following their lead. So we kind of knew it was coming, and then it came, and it was you need to close. It was a Monday, the Monday before St. Patrick's Day, actually. We had to be closed by 8 o'clock that night, and you know, I did my best to just communicate with the staff on what I knew, what was happening. My saving grace was they had all gotten paid that day, so I said, well, I got 2 weeks to figure this out, you know, for them. And then I went home that day, and it was kind of like, we could stay open for takeout, which we had just gotten, you know, a food truck, and it was St. Patrick's Day, and so my thought was, well, we'll stay open this week for takeout and see what happens. I kept about 4 or 5 staff members on to do takeout only, and so we rolled with that, and it, you know, we held our own. The community really came behind us and made it a point to get takeout. We started doing deliveries. You know, like I said, there was a lot of unknowns, but we had to try to be creative, and I think we did a really good job with that. You know, and then we did get the PPP loan. Shout out to West Shore Bank. They made it super easy, fast. We were shut down March 16th. By April 7th, I had funds and wrote everybody paychecks. You know, so we were able to keep our staff on. We paid them during the whole pandemic, you know, the whole shutdown, which, like I said, that was my main concern. And yeah, you know, just really had to adapt. You know, we reopened Friday of Memorial Day weekend, and again, had no.
And that was wild.
Crazy.
That was wild.
I don't understand that to this day.
You know, all the things that you've just talked about, and you know, the retraction in your business, like how many people can we have in? I mean, you're doing all the takeout. You're trying to figure out all the things, like how do we keep everybody safe? Because that was obviously the biggest concern, and the public's biggest concern. Listen, if we're going to come to your establishment, we want to make sure that you know, we're going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, Memorial Weekend hits, and you're open.
I mean, because that whole time, and we wore masks, we sanitized everything. Even though there was only 3 of us in the whole building, you know, the hotel was completely shut down. I mean, literally lights off, heats off, done.
Yeah.
So literally there was no more than 3 of us in the building at once, but we all had our masks on, we all sanitized everything. You know, like I said, we did deliveries for those who didn't want to leave their house. You know, we did everything we could to be as safe as possible. And then Memorial Day hit, and, you know, I mean, all hell broke loose, and we had no idea what to expect.
For Manistee, there was the cutoff.
Yes.
Mason County South was completely shut down.
Yep.
And we were open up here. We were in the whatever quadrant that was.
Yes.
So there was a flood of people that came to town.
Yes, and they were all from Detroit, Chicago, Ann Arbor. That was, I mean, it was scary. I will be honest.
Sure.
My first thought after that happened was, we will be shut down in 2 weeks. Us personally, because my whole staff is going to get COVID and it's going to be over with. Knock on wood, or, you know, we've been pretty good as far as that's concerned. We didn't. Nobody got COVID. You know, we all had masks on. We had signs everywhere in the bathrooms: wash your hands, please social distance. You know, for those first, you know, the first month, people were fairly respectful of that. You know, they were just happy to be out. So it's kind of like, whatever we need to do, we just want to sit down and have a beer and a sandwich, and we're fine.
Because we haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, because we haven't been able to do it. But then, you know, after that, it got, you know, the tensions were thick. You get those people who didn't understand, didn't care. You know, I'm not wearing a mask. It's like, well, my liquor license is kind of on the line here, so, like,
right.
I need you to wear a mask. That got a little stressful, being the mask police. But
that was unfortunate.
Yes.
That we as business owners were forced
to do that.
To do that work.
Oh yeah, and have people sign in and sign out, and that it was a lot on myself and my staff to have to take on that responsibility on top of everything else that they had to do, and wear a mask the entire time. You know.
Right.
So yeah, it was a lot, but we got through it, and I think we did a damn good job, honestly.
I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not just your business, but a lot of businesses here in town.
Yeah.
You know, that stayed open. You know, but as we progress from 2 years ago to a year ago, we're still going through this from beginning of 21 till now.
Yeah.
You stayed open.
Yes.
I mean, you stayed open the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. Did you even have like one day a week where you guys were closed?
We were closed. So the second shutdown, we got shut down mid-November of 2020. We closed Sundays and Mondays, I think, actually. So we were open just 5 days, and then, you know, outdoor seating was still allowed.
Right.
So that is when I had approached the city to put the igloos out. We kind of jumped on that bandwagon.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was a huge hit. I still have people asking, are you bringing the igloos back?
I thought you were.
And it's like, no, we're not. We're done with the igloos.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted, and it was a huge hit. I mean, we were booked solid with those things. It was a lot of work. You know, my staff had fun with it. You know, and we did what we had to do. We reopened February 1st of 21, only at 50%. So we still kept the igloos going, and then we opened up the vaults in the lobby.
Right, which is awesome.
So it was its own separate menu, drinks. You know, we had a cooler up there. We turned the conference room into a little pop-up kitchen. And we ran with that, and people really enjoyed that. A lot of people had never been up there.
Right.
And so that was kind of cool. You know, some people had lived here their whole lives and never been up there. So they really enjoyed the space, and it was, you know, it's a big space, so they felt comfortable up there. It wasn't crowded. So, you know, we did that until we could open to 100%, which, you know, was going into summer anyway. And then we kept our outdoor seating. We put more tables outside. We put a deck outside. So yeah, you know, summer was crazy, and you know.
Well, let's talk about summer real quick. So this past summer was insane. It was.
Yes.
I think it was a little bit more than 2 years ago when we opened up for Memorial Weekend. So we have the social district downtown now, and you had the decks outside, which are awesome. So you've got even more potential for customers. and people just coming in to get a drink to walk around
Yes.
downtown. Now, there are a lot of businesses, I feel like we missed the boat in maybe getting on the same page collectively as a downtown to ensure that, when we're open, when we're not
Yes.
kind of thing. But you guys were always open.
Yes.
And it seemed like if we had one or two restaurants down, and a lot of things came into play. Like we've had staffing issues all year.
Yep.
Everybody's had staffing issues all year. And then if somebody gets sick or a few people get sick, you're forced to kind of shut down. And you guys did a great job. You did a great job of navigating those waters and staying open. But how is your staff? How did they, when summer was finally over, I always make the comment, the hardest working people downtown, might get some heat for this, but they come out of your building.
Yeah.
You, in my opinion, are the hardest working person downtown.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. But there were some times when I walked in there in the summer, like I can't believe that I would be claustrophobic and just like,
yeah.
I love humans.
Yes.
But that's a lot of hard work, 6-7 days a week, especially when you got a line outside for an hour and a half, and that happened quite a bit this summer.
It was every day. It was Monday, Tuesday. It didn't matter. It was nonstop. Our staff didn't. There were no breaks. There were no breaks for any of us. There were days where we were short-staffed, and a lot of times we couldn't do the outdoor seating. Some people understood that, some people didn't understand that. But when I only have 2 servers and we're full inside, I can't take on the extra tables outside. But we just adjusted. It was just like, hey, we can't do it. We can't do it. Our staff was exhausted. It was just a blur. There were days where I thanked them for coming in the next day because I don't know if I would have, if I was them. It's like, man, because this summer, a lot of guests were a little bit more impatient, which I don't understand. If I go out to eat, I don't care. Like, I'm just happy to be there.
Right.
So that was a struggle. People just not understanding being short-staffed, not understanding how small we are. Like, we can only accommodate so many people. If there's an hour wait, it's not my fault. I don't know. I can't fix that. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah.
But our staff, they did an incredible job. I can think of a couple servers that just, I don't know how they kept their smile on. I don't, because it was a lot. It was a lot. And we actually stayed pretty busy right through October, and then we had the holidays, so we were actually pretty busy for that. So we really didn't slow down till after the year, and it's been a nice breath to take, with the slower pace. And but I think it's going to happen all over again here in the next couple months. So
I don't think there's going to be much of a slow. We've got a lot of new people in town. A lot of people had the opportunity to come up and see this area, and they're going to come back, and that's okay because that's what we're in business to take care of. That's why we do what we do. Circle back real quick. What are you in 8 years now? Going on 8 years?
It'll be 7. 7 years in March.
So the last 2 years have been.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? I know for me, it's been a real trying time.
Yeah.
And I try not to get overly emotional about things because I do genuinely enjoy other people, but the stresses of the last 2 years are more than just like running a business.
Yes.
So the stresses of running the business coupled with the stresses of the last 2 years.
Yes.
Has it made you second guess anything, or is it made you...
sometimes, just mostly because of my family. It's, you have the stress of being a business owner, which is a thing in itself, and then on top of everything else, I have a family. I have 2 young kids at home. To go home and then have all of that on your shoulders is a lot. And especially right now, there's just so many unknowns every day. Am I going to have the staff to get through the weekend? What are our suppliers going to be out of this week? So then what are we going to be out of this week? Are we going to get shut down again? Are we going to have to wear masks again? It is a lot. So, second guessing, of course, it got to be a lot, especially the past Well, since we reopened in February.
You brought up supplies. I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot to mention that. How has that been for you? I mean, for everybody, we're constantly out of stuff, or we haven't been able to get certain products that our customers want.
It's been a struggle. I mean, liquor
liquor's crazy.
Been terrible, and like some people understand it and some people don't. And the biggest challenge is, Jack Daniels. We're out of Jack Daniels forever. Well, there's a pallet of it at Meijer. How come? And it's like, well, I'm not Meijer. I can't buy a pallet of it at once. So, I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I can't get it, and so that's a struggle.
I had to buy gift sets just to get Jack Daniels.
Yeah, and now Grey Goose. We can't get Grey Goose. So that is a struggle. Food, there was a cream cheese shortage for a while. We use a lot of cream cheese. We've had to take some things off our menu because we just simply can't get something. And of course, that's a favorite of somebody, so then they don't understand. And it's like, well, go to Meijer and get it. Meijer isn't going to have it. Have you seen the shelves at Meijer? Like, they don't have it either.
Right.
So, that's another struggle. It is. And I don't know when that's going to change anytime soon. So.
What about the silver linings? What's been the really positive things that have come out of the last 2 years that you're not going to change? You're not going to go back on?
I think, honestly, okay, so my staff, I think we've all bonded in a different way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I can say, my staff, they all stayed on over the past 2 years. I don't know how many other places can say that. So I'm extremely blessed that way. I think it really did kind of bring us closer together. We're at each other's throats sometimes, I'm not going to lie. It's not always pretty, but somehow we pull it together and we stay together. And I think there really is this strong sense of supporting small businesses now more than there ever has been. And we are a small business, you're a small business, all of us downtown are. So seeing that support has been great. I know when we were shut down for takeout, there was a couple, they would order takeout from a different restaurant every night. And that was awesome to me to see that. So I think that's really cool.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, as we go into 2022 then, what do you see happening for your business? Not just your business, but Manistee, the city of Manistee, the county of Manistee. We've got a lot of things happening. The Gateway project at the front end of River Street, hotel project at the lakeshore down here on Lake Michigan.
I think it's all great things. I think it's our time for sure. I feel like we've kind of been, held back. You look at what Ludington has done and Pentwater and Frankfurt. They've all really expanded and grown, and I think it's our time. So I'm excited for all of these new things. I think it's just going to attract more people to Manistee. I think there's a lot, supposedly some more housing coming, which is huge. Hopefully affordable for working folks that work at TJ's, or for you that can afford housing. To keep people here. So I'm all for it. I'm excited for what's to come.
I am too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you.